Imagine this. You're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the same old routine, struggling, reacting, barely keeping up. The other? A life where you see opportunities before others do, make decisions with clarity and confidence, and come out on top, not just once, but consistently. Welcome to the art of strategic thinking. This isn't about playing chess or running a business. It's about mastering the mindset that turns obstacles into advantages, confusion into clarity, and dreams into reality. Whether you're navigating your career, managing relationships, or simply trying to live a more intentional life, strategic thinking is the secret weapon you've been missing. Let me tell you something. Success doesn't always go to the loudest, the strongest, or even the smartest person in the room. It goes to the one who sees the game for what it is and plays it better than anyone else. So let's start at the beginning. What exactly is strategic thinking? At its core, strategic thinking is the ability to think ahead, consider multiple possibilities, and make decisions based on long-term goals rather than short-term impulses. It's not just planning. It's planning with purpose. It's knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to pivot entirely. Think of it like driving a car. Most people are focused on what's right in front of them. The traffic light turning red, the car swerving in front of them, the GPS telling them they missed a turn. But a strategic thinker is looking further down the road. They're checking the rearview mirror, scanning side streets, anticipating delays, and adjusting their route before the problem even arises. Strategic thinking gives you control. Not control over everything, that's impossible, but control over how you respond, adapt, and move forward. Now you might be thinking, I'm not a CEO or a military general. How does this apply to my life? Fair question. Here's the truth. Strategic thinking isn't reserved for leaders or high achievers. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Whether you're negotiating a raise, planning your finances, raising kids, or deciding what to do next in your career, strategic thinking empowers you to take charge of your future. Let's break it down into three key elements. Vision, seeing beyond the present moment. Analysis, understanding patterns, risks, and opportunities. Action, making deliberate choices that align with your long-term goals. You don't need to be perfect at all three right away. But if you commit to improving each of them, you'll start seeing results faster than you expect. So how do we build these skills? Let's dive deeper. First, vision. Vision is about setting direction. It's asking yourself, where am I going? Why does it matter? What does success look like? Without vision, you're just drifting. With it, you have a compass. Think of your favorite athletes. They don't just show up and hope for the best. They visualize every move, every play, every shot. Oh, that's vision in action. But here's the catch. Vision without strategy is just daydreaming. That's where analysis comes in. Strategic thinking requires you to study the landscape. What are the trends? What challenges lie ahead? Who are the players involved? What resources do you have? And what are you missing? This is where most people get stuck. They either ignore the data or get overwhelmed by it. But strategic thinkers know how to cut through the noise. They ask the right questions, gather insights, and use that information to make smarter moves. And then there's action. Because no matter how clear your vision or how solid your analysis, nothing happens without execution. But here's the twist. Strategic action isn't about doing more. It's about doing better. It's prioritizing what matters, focusing your energy, and staying flexible enough to change course when needed. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people want to lose weight. One jumps into a strict diet and workout plan. pushing themselves hard every day. The other takes time to understand their habits, identify triggers, set realistic goals, and create a sustainable system. Who do you think will succeed? Spoiler alert, it's the second one. Why? Because they didn't just jump in. They thought strategically. That's the difference between effort and effectiveness. Now, here's something important. Strategic thinking doesn't mean you never fail. In fact, failure is often part of the process. The key is learning from it quickly and adjusting your approach. Because let's face it, life throws curveballs. Plans fall apart. People disappoint us. Circumstances change. But with a strategic mindset, you don't panic. You adapt. You see, strategic thinking isn't about control. It's about resilience. It's about being ready for whatever comes next, not because you predicted it, but because you trained yourself to handle uncertainty. So how do you train your brain to think strategically? It starts with awareness. Start paying attention to how you make decisions. Are they reactive or proactive? Emotional or logical? Short-sighted or long-term? Then, practice reflection. After every major decision, good or bad, ask yourself, what worked? What didn't? What would I do differently? Next, expand your perspective. Don't just focus on your own experience. Read books, listen to podcasts, talk to people who've faced similar challenges, learn from their strategies. And finally, stay curious. Ask questions, challenge assumptions, look for patterns, stay open to new ideas. Let me share a story that changed my perspective on strategic thinking forever. A few years ago, I met a woman named Sarah. She was in her early 30s, working a corporate job she hated, feeling stuck and frustrated. Every day was a grind. She knew she wanted something different, but didn't know where to start. One day she decided to sit down and map out her life. Not just her job, but her finances, relationships, health, and personal growth. She looked at where she was, where she wanted to be, and what steps she needed to take. Then she started making small, consistent changes. She built a side hustle. She networked intentionally. She invested in her skills. She restructured her budget. Within 18 months, she had quit her job and launched her own business. How did she do it? By thinking strategically. She didn't rush. She didn't try to do everything at once. She made calculated moves, adjusted as needed, and stayed focused on her long-term goal. That's the power of strategic thinking. It doesn't require luck or privilege. It just requires intention. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but how do I actually start applying this in my daily life? Let's talk about practical steps. Start with your goals. Not vague wishes, clear, specific goals. Write them down. Then break them into smaller milestones. Next, identify the obstacles that could stand in your way. Finally, develop a plan for overcoming them. This isn't rocket science. It's basic strategy. But most people skip this step and wonder why they aren't getting results. Another powerful tool is scenario planning. Think of it like chess. You don't just plan your next move. You plan several moves ahead, considering how your opponent might respond. Apply that to your life. Ask yourself, if I take this job offer, what happens in 6 months, a year, 5 years? What if things don't work out? What's my backup plan? This kind of thinking builds resilience and reduces surprises. Also, learn to recognize patterns. Successful people don't just stumble into greatness. They follow certain habits, routines, and mindsets. Study those patterns and adopt what works for you. And remember, strategic thinking isn't a solo sport. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, support you, and push you to grow. Collaboration multiplies your ability to think clearly and act wisely. Now, Let's address the elephant in the room: fear. Fear is the enemy of strategy. It makes us hesitate, second guess, and settle for less. But strategic thinkers acknowledge fear without letting it drive the bus. They understand that risk is part of progress. They calculate it, manage it, and move forward anyway. So how do you overcome fear? By building confidence through preparation. When you've done the work, studied the options, and created a solid plan, fear loses its grip. Because suddenly you're not flying blind. You're making informed decisions, and that makes all the difference. Let's also talk about time management, because strategic thinking requires space to reflect, plan, and adjust. Most people waste hours scrolling, procrastinating, or reacting to emergencies. Strategic thinkers protect their time like gold. They schedule reflection, prioritize deep work, and eliminate distractions that drain their energy. They understand that time is their most valuable resource, and they invest it wisely. Another key habit is continuous learning. Strategic thinkers are lifelong learners. They read, listen, observe, and experiment. They treat every experience as a chance to improve, because the world is changing faster than ever. And if you stop learning, you stop growing. So what should you be reading? Books on psychology, economics, leadership, history, and innovation. Listen to interviews with successful entrepreneurs, scientists, and artists. Watch documentaries. Take courses. Expand your mental toolkit. The more knowledge you have, the sharper your thinking becomes. Now, let's shift gears and talk about mindset. Strategic thinking thrives on discipline, patience, and persistence. It's not about quick wins. It's about long-term mastery. You won't become a strategic genius overnight. But with consistent practice, you'll notice a shift. You'll start seeing connections you didn't see before. You'll make decisions with more clarity. You'll feel more in control of your life. And that's where the magic happens. Because when you think strategically, you're no longer just surviving, you're thriving. You start to anticipate problems before they arise. You spot opportunities others miss. You navigate complex situations with calm and confidence. You win, not by luck, but by design. So where do you go from here? Start small. Pick one area of your life where you want to improve. Maybe it's your finances, maybe your career, maybe your health. Set a clear goal. Create a simple plan. Track your progress. Adjust as needed. And most importantly, take action. Because the beauty of strategic thinking is that it compounds over time. Every thoughtful decision builds momentum. Every lesson learned strengthens your ability to make better choices. In the end, strategic thinking isn't just a skill, it's a lifestyle. It's the difference between living reactively and living deliberately. So ask yourself, do you want to keep reacting to life, or do you want to shape it? The choice is yours. And now, you have the tools to make it happen. Thank you for listening to The Art of Strategic Thinking. Outsmart any challenge and win big in life. May this be the first step toward a more empowered, intentional, and successful version of yourself. Remember, the game of life isn't about luck. It's about strategy. Play smart, play bold, and win big. Chapter 2. Vision, the foundation of strategic thinking. Let's go back to basics. If strategic thinking is the engine, then vision is the fuel. Without a strong sense of direction, even the most brilliant strategies can misfire. Vision is more than just dreaming. It's about creating a compelling picture of where you want to be and why it matters. It's the emotional anchor that keeps you grounded when the winds of change blow hard. Why is vision so crucial? Because it answers the question, why am I doing this? Too many people chase goals without understanding their deeper purpose. As a result, they run out of steam halfway through, lose motivation, or get sidetracked by shiny distractions. But when you have a clear vision, you're not just chasing outcomes, you're pursuing meaning. Take a moment to imagine your ideal future. What does it look like? How do you feel? Who are you surrounded by? What impact are you making? These questions aren't just for philosophers or motivational speakers. They're for you, the person who wants more out of life. Your vision should be personal, powerful, and persistent. It should inspire you even on the hardest days. Now, let's break down how to build a strong, actionable vision. Step 1. Define your core values. Before you can set meaningful goals, you need to understand what drives you. Your values are the foundation of your vision. Ask yourself, what principles guide my decisions? What do I refuse to compromise on? What legacy do I want to leave behind? Write down your top 5 values. These will serve as your moral compass. Step 2. Picture your ideal future. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 5 years from now. What has changed? What have you accomplished? What habits have you developed? Who are you becoming? Visualize it in vivid detail. The more real it feels, the more powerful it becomes. Step 3. Set long-term goals. Based on your vision and values, define 3 to 5 major goals for the next 3 to 5 years. These should be ambitious but achievable. Examples: launch a successful business, build a happy, healthy family, achieve financial independence, become a respected expert in your field. Don't worry about the how yet. Just focus on the what. Step 4. Identify obstacles. Every vision faces resistance. What internal or external barriers could prevent you from reaching your goals? Be honest. Is it lack of time, fear of failure, financial constraints, uncertainty? Oh, once you name them, you can begin to strategize around them. Step 5. Break it down. Now, translate your long-term vision into actionable steps. For each major goal, create a timeline with quarterly and monthly milestones. This is where strategy meets execution. For example, if your goal is to launch a business in 2 years, your milestones might include: Month 1. Research market needs. Month 3. Validate idea with surveys. Month 6. Build MVP, minimum viable product. Month 12. Launch beta version. Month 24. Full-scale launch. Each milestone should be measurable, time-bound, and aligned with your overall vision. Step 6. Revisit and refine. Vision isn't static. As you grow and evolve, so should your vision. Schedule regular check-ins, at least once a quarter, to assess your progress and adjust your strategy. Celebrate wins. Learn from setbacks. Keep moving forward. Chapter 3. Analysis: Seeing beyond the surface. Now that you have a clear vision, it's time to bring in the analytical side of strategic thinking. Analysis is the bridge between vision and action. It's how you assess the terrain, evaluate risks, and determine the best path forward. Most people jump straight into action without taking the time to analyze. As a result, they waste energy on ineffective strategies or overlook critical details. Strategic thinkers pause before acting. They ask questions, gather data, and weigh their options carefully. So how do you sharpen your analytical skills? Let's explore some powerful techniques. Technique 1. SWOT, Analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Apply this framework to your personal or professional goals. Strengths. What advantages do you have? Skills, resources, networks, etc. Weaknesses. What areas need improvement? Limitations, gaps in knowledge, poor habits, opportunities. What trends or events could help you achieve your goals? Threats. What external factors could derail your progress? Use this to gain clarity and make informed decisions. Technique 2. Root cause analysis. When facing a problem, dig deeper. Instead of treating symptoms, identify the root cause. Ask why repeatedly until you reach the core issue. Example, problem. I'm constantly stressed at work. Why? Because I'm overwhelmed with tasks. Why? Because I take on too much. Why? Because I struggle to say no. Now you have a starting point for change. Technique 3. Scenario planning. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Strategic thinkers prepare for multiple scenarios. Ask yourself, what is the best case outcome? What is the worst case scenario? What is the most likely outcome? What can I do to increase the chances of success? This helps you stay adaptable and reduce anxiety about the unknown. Technique 4. Cost-benefit analysis. Before making a major decision, evaluate the pros and cons. List the potential benefits and the possible costs. Compare them objectively. This prevents emotional decision-making and ensures you're investing your time and energy wisely. Technique 5. Pattern recognition. History repeats itself, especially in human behavior. Strategic thinkers recognize patterns and use them to their advantage. Look at your past experiences. What patterns do you see? Do you tend to procrastinate when under pressure? Do you avoid difficult conversations? Do you thrive under deadlines? Understanding your patterns allows you to design strategies that work with your natural tendencies. Technique 6. Benchmarking. Compare yourself to those who have succeeded in areas you want to excel in. What did they do differently? What mistakes did they make? What lessons can you learn? Benchmarking accelerates growth by giving you a roadmap to follow. Technique 7. Data-driven decisions. Emotions can cloud judgment. Strategic thinkers rely on data to inform their choices. Track your progress, measure results, use numbers to guide your decisions. Whether it's fitness metrics, financial reports, or customer feedback, data tells the real story. Chapter 4. Action. Turning strategy into results. Having a clear vision and solid analysis means nothing unless you take action. Strategic action is about executing with precision, consistency, and flexibility. Here's how to do it right. Principle 1. Prioritize ruthlessly. You can't do everything. Focus on what truly matters. Use the Eisenhower matrix to categorize tasks. Urgent and important. Do immediately. Important, not urgent. Schedule. Urgent, not important. Delegate. Neither. Eliminate. This helps you focus on what moves the needle. Principle 2. Build routines. Consistency beats intensity. Strategic thinkers build systems that allow them to perform at their best without burning out. Create daily rituals that support your goals. Whether it's morning planning, exercise, journaling, or focused work blocks, routines give structure to your strategy. Principle 3. Embrace iteration. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Strategic action is iterative. Start with a prototype. Test it. Get feedback. Improve. Repeat. This applies to business, relationships, personal development, everything. Principle 4. Stay agile. Plans change. Markets shift. People surprise you. Strategic thinkers remain flexible. They adapt without losing sight of their vision. Learn to pivot gracefully. Adjust tactics while maintaining long-term commitment. Principle 5. Monitor progress. Measure what matters. Track KPIs, key performance indicators for your goals. Are you moving closer to your vision? If not, why? Data-driven adjustments ensure you stay on track. Principle 6. Celebrate wins. Progress fuels motivation. Celebrate small victories along the way. Did you stick to your plan for a week? Celebrate. Did you land a client or finish a project? Celebrate. Positive reinforcement builds momentum. Principle 7. Reflect regularly. Schedule time for reflection, at least once a month. Ask yourself, what worked well? What didn't? What did I learn? What will I do differently? Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Chapter 5. Overcoming obstacles with strategic thinking. No matter how well you plan, obstacles will arise. The key is how you respond. Strategic thinkers don't see obstacles as roadblocks. They see them as puzzles to solve. Let's explore common obstacles and how to overcome them. Obstacle 1. Lack of motivation. Motivation fades. Discipline lasts. Build habits that keep you moving forward, even when inspiration is low. Set micro goals. Use accountability partners. Reward yourself for consistency. Obstacle 2. Procrastination. Procrastination is often rooted in fear or overwhelm. Break tasks into smaller steps. Start with the easiest part. Commit to just 10 minutes. Action creates momentum. Obstacle 3. Distractions. Distractions kill productivity. Strategic thinkers protect their focus. Turn off notifications, set boundaries, use time blocking, create distraction-free zones. Obstacle 4. Burnout. Burnout happens when you give more than you replenish. Balance effort with recovery. Rest is part of strategy. Schedule downtime. Practice mindfulness. Recharge regularly. Obstacle 5. Resistance from others. Not everyone will support your vision. That's okay. Stay confident in your path. Communicate clearly. Lead by example. Surround yourself with believers. Obstacle 6. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is inevitable. Strategic thinkers embrace it. Focus on what you can control. Prepare for multiple outcomes. Stay agile. Uncertainty is where growth happens. Obstacle 7. Setbacks. Setbacks are part of the journey. Strategic thinkers learn from them. Reframe failure as feedback. Adjust your approach. Keep going. Resilience is a superpower. Chapter 6. Building a strategic mindset. Strategic thinking isn't just a skill. It's a mindset. It's about how you view the world, how you process information, and how you make decisions. Let's explore how to cultivate a strategic mindset. Mindset Shift 1. From reaction to anticipation. Instead of waiting for things to happen, anticipate them. Ask, what could go wrong? What opportunities might arise? Anticipatory thinking gives you the upper hand. Mindset Shift 2. From scarcity to abundance. Scarcity thinking limits possibilities. Abundance thinking opens doors. Believe there's enough for everyone. Focus on creating value, not competing for scraps. Mindset Shift 3. From fixed to growth-oriented. Strategic thinkers believe they can improve. Adopt a growth mindset. See challenges as opportunities to learn. Mindset shift 4. From isolation to collaboration. Great strategies thrive in collaboration. Seek input from others. Delegate tasks. Build teams. Collective intelligence beats individual brilliance. Mindset shift 5. From short-term to long-term. Strategic thinking is patient. Avoid short-term fixes that undermine long-term goals. Make decisions with the future in mind. Mindset shift 6. From certainty to adaptability. Certainty is an illusion. Adaptability is power. Be willing to change course. Update your beliefs. Evolve. Mindset shift 7. From outcome to process. Success is a byproduct of good processes. Focus on the journey, not just the destination. Chapter 7. Real-life applications of strategic thinking. Let's bring this to life with real-world examples. Example 1. Career advancement. Sarah wanted a promotion. Instead of waiting to be noticed, she mapped out a strategy. She identified key skills required for the role. She sought mentorship. She took on stretch projects. She documented her contributions. Within 12 months, she got the promotion. Example 2. Financial freedom. John dreamed of retiring early. He analyzed his spending, optimized his income streams, and invested wisely. He diversified his portfolio, automated savings, and lived below his means. By age 45, he achieved financial independence. Example 3. Health transformation. Maria struggled with weight loss. She stopped jumping from diet to diet and adopted a strategic approach. She tracked her habits, consulted experts, and created a sustainable system. She lost 50 pounds and kept it off. Example 4. Relationship success. Tom wanted a stronger marriage. He analyzed communication patterns, addressed underlying issues, and committed to growth. He scheduled regular check-ins, expressed gratitude, and listened deeply. His relationship flourished. Example 5. Entrepreneurial growth. Lena wanted to scale her startup. She conducted market research, refined her product, and built a team. She focused on customer retention, leveraged automation, and expanded strategically. Her company grew tenfold in 3 years. Chapter 8. Tools and frameworks for strategic thinking. To think strategically, you need tools. Here are some proven frameworks. Tool 1. SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Use this to set clear, actionable objectives. Tool 2. OKRs, Objectives and Key Results. Popularized by Google. OKRs align goals across teams. Define objectives and measure them with key results. Tool 3. GROW model. Goal, reality, options, will. Use this for coaching, self-reflection, and decision-making. Tool 4. PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, act. A continuous improvement framework for refining strategies. Tool 5. Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. Focus on the 20% of efforts that yield 80% of results. Prioritize ruthlessly. Tool 6. Decision matrix. Weigh multiple criteria to make objective decisions. Evaluate options based on importance and feasibility. Tool 7. Backward design. Start with the end goal and work backward. Identify milestones, dependencies, and critical paths. Chapter 9. Mastering the mental game. Strategic thinking is as much mental as it is tactical. Here's how to strengthen your mental game. Skill 1. Emotional intelligence. Understand and manage emotions, yours and others. Empathy, self-awareness, and social skills enhance strategic interactions. Skill 2. Critical thinking. Question assumptions. Evaluate evidence. Avoid cognitive biases. Critical thinking sharpens decision-making. Skill 3. Creativity. Strategic thinkers solve problems in unique ways. Practice brainstorming, lateral thinking, and experimentation. Skill 4. Resilience. Bounce back from setbacks with grace. Build grit through challenge exposure and mindset training. Skill 5. Curiosity. Stay hungry for knowledge. Ask questions, explore new fields, and seek diverse perspectives. Skill 6. Patience. Strategic thinking requires delayed gratification. Trust the process. Celebrate incremental progress. Skill 7. Confidence. Confidence comes from preparation. Know your strengths. Trust your instincts. Speak with conviction. Chapter 10. The road ahead. Living strategically. Congratulations. You've reached the final chapter. Strategic thinking isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey. As you move forward, remember, vision sets direction, analysis informs decisions, action delivers results, reflection refines your approach, persistence guarantees progress. Keep practicing, keep learning, keep adapting, and above all, keep winning, because now you know how. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the art of strategic thinking. Outsmart any challenge and win big in life. Go out there, be bold, be wise, and win big.